People spend a lot of time thinking about what they say, but not nearly as much time thinking about what they signal before they ever open their mouth. My guest today is living in that space. Mira Adwell is a photographer who recently relocated back to Washington from Charleston, South Carolina, where she worked in fashion and editorial, and now she's working with professionals who need to show up in the right way in this high-stakes environment. She's my guest today, and I'm super excited for you to learn more. Mira Adwell is a great guest, and I'm looking forward to sharing this one with you. So let's get into it. So Mira, you've done fashion, editorial, and now you're working with professionals. What do you see in someone right away that they don't realize they're projecting?
Oh, good question. People get nervous. They get a little nervous, and sometimes they're good at hiding it, like you. And other times I can see it, and I look for certain signs. If they stop breathing and they kind of have that shallow breath and like their mouth gets really dry and they're kind of fidgety, I'm like, oh, okay, just give me a minute. And I put the camera down and just start interacting with them and talking and chatting about their life, their work, their family, to kind of loosen them up a little bit. And normally they don't know it's happening. It's just kind of this little trick that I've learned, but I feed off of that energy. So I can kind of tell, when someone's like ready to go, like Ashley Davis, who walks in my studio and I mean, she does press all the time. So she's hair and makeup ready. She knows what she needs. We execute. And then you have someone who, is starting a new business, a CEO, someone who's not comfortable in front of the camera, and they come in and you just feel this tension. I'm like, I got you. Don't worry. I've been doing this for 15 years now. Like we're going to get through this. It's going to be a pleasant experience. So there's certain things that I look out for, and the goal is to make people comfortable, because if they're not going to give me those good expressions.
What would you say for someone who walks into experience that maybe doesn't have someone like you who has some tricks? Is there a way for you, if I'm coming in and I know that I'm going to be taking photos, but I can feel it in myself that I'm not my natural self. Are there tips that you can give perhaps to people that they can think ahead of time or think about before they walk in the room, maybe unless, they have someone like you? What kinds of things work, do you think, to relax and get yourself into the right headspace?
About half of the people that I work with are represented by PR agencies, ad agencies, and they're super helpful in telling them what to wear, how to dress, what to do. But then again, life happens. We are professionals, we're parents, we're moms, and you show up and it's raining outside and your hair's frizzy and your kid is like, Mom, you forgot to pack my snack and all the things. And we work through it. And I'm very delicate with people. I don't want to rush them. I don't like booking more than 1 or 2 clients a day, unless, of course, I'm photographing an entire company and then we have 20 people back to back. So I'm very mindful that I'm also in the right, frame of mind, and I'm there to deliver and be with you and listen to you and help you through it. And I'm telling you, most people were nervous. I think it's that flash, the spotlight, not having met before. And this is what I've started doing recently when I moved to the DC area, because I'm working with people who are not professional models. We're doing a lot of corporate jobs. We get on the phone before we photograph. It's like a free consultation, and we kind of go over what they're trying to achieve. I ask them questions like, do you need a headshot or a portrait? They're like, I don't know. What's the difference? So we dive into that and we kind of dissect it. We talk about their branding. What are your website colors? We really try and stay on brand with what they need so that the images that they come up with are specifically catered to what they're looking for. So there's this little dialogue that happens either through email or a phone call before they even come on set, just to kind of loosen it up a little bit and get to know people. So yeah, I have all these little tricks that it's all about making them comfortable, because
I love that.
it's going to show. It's
Yeah.
going to show.
It's so interesting you say that too, Mira, because one of the tricks that I teach for getting rid of nerves, or maybe not getting rid of, but sort of eliminating them before you get in front of the podium, is to visualize yourself in that moment. So maybe maybe that early call, that thought ahead of time, what is it you're looking for? Giving a little bit of foresight before you even step into that experience,
Sure, and I
really
even
helps.
like think about this and try that. Sometimes, very rarely, I'll put a mirror so they can see themselves, but that only works with a very small number of people because then when they're watching themselves in the mirror, they get even more nervous. They're like over
Uh-huh.
here, the circles under the eyes. I'm like, all right, mirror out. Like it's just you and I now. So there's definitely photographers, we guide them through the process. That's why I think with AI coming in, it's so interesting. I'm like so perplexed. Like I love it and hate it all at the same time. I think it's going to eliminate certain industry. I think it's going to create opportunities for others. I think it's this middle ground and us creatives are trying to figure out where we kind of fit in into all of that. But AI is not going to replace that authentic human interaction.
I'm so
And
glad you said that. Every time I
right?
show and by the way, the generation behind us, Mira, are tuned into it better than we even are.
I know.
I have showed my kids photos that I did not realize was artificially generated,
Mhm.
and their immediate reaction is, "That's not real."
It's too perfect. It's too
Uh,
perfect. When clients come to me, they're like, "Oh, I just need something basic. Like, I don't really want to pay for the branding, session because it's a little higher. I just need something simple for LinkedIn." I'm like, "My love, do you realize that LinkedIn has over 1 billion users? It is prime real estate. It is where AI is pulling all the information about you and your career. And that image that you put on there needs to be amazing. And it can't be artificial because it doesn't represent you. You're plastic. There's no expression. There's no authenticity. There's nothing there. And I think publications, print and online, and news outlets, I think they're going to start getting very restrictive with how people can use AI with relation to portraits. Now, in other work, I think AI is super helpful. I mean, I paint my own backdrops for photography. It's a tedious process. It is what it is. I just love doing it. It creates this rustic vibe and it's kind of my thing. But it takes time and energy and money to buy the huge canvases, to buy the paint, to take the time to paint it. And with AI, you can just plop a beautiful background with what you need. And it's saving us time and money. And I get it. I understand what AI is doing to help. I also think when it comes to portraits, if I can, say something to other photographers getting into the industry and being nervous about it, when it comes to portrait work, I think we're going to become really valuable as time
mm,
as time goes by. I really
I think
do.
you're right. I mean,
And if
there
you
is
are,
a shortcut with the AI, but
yes,
the value that you get. You have a really I mean, and for my audience, they should know that Mira is she has helped me with portraits, and I'll recommend you every single time because the experience is fantastic, and you're such an artist yourself. But what do you think you yourself, because you are an artist and you do this work every single day in a lot of we're gonna get into the background because 'cause you've done a lot of really remarkable things. What do you think an image says about someone? It really is your first impression. Like, you talk about LinkedIn, before anyone even meets you, they're going to a conference, they see your photograph, they're making a decision about you even before they hear you speak. What do you
like
think about that?
you know who you're reminding me of? I got to meet Kevin O'Leary. He came by through town promoting Ashley Davis's new book that just came out that I happened to photograph. And I mean, he's such an interesting guy. He's remarkable. I wish I would have had more time to talk to him, but this amazing, hugely successful, now he's building data centers, the lawsuits are flying, and then he gets up on stage and starts talking about how important content creation is. Now, he's using it in reference to customer acquisition. He has he's going somewhere with that, but he's like, if I'm looking at a resume and I see a beautifully, documented portrait and someone wearing a wrinkled t-shirt, who do you think is going to get through the door? Whose resume do you think I'm going to pick? And I'm like, yes, Kevin, advocate for me and us artists, photographers, and it matters. It's a first impression. It's important. And now we have all these great tools. And I mean, on Amazon, you can buy like a simple little lighting kit. You can even do it yourself. You don't always have to hire a professional. The point is you have to look professional, presentable, and show a little bit of personality, because now everyone just blank background, nervous smile. You know, you gotta give it something. And that's where photographers come in. We're kind of like directors. We're directing most of the time and documenting the rest. It's really interesting how that works.
The portrait world has evolved so much too. You talk so much. Washington, D.C. used to be in front of a Navy backdrop with it was cookie cutter and it was robotic and it was uninteresting. And I think the one thing that's changed so much is that it is an opportunity to express yourself. Maybe not with something outlandish or remarkable, but there is a way. You talk about Ashley's book. Her book image it's stunning and it
Thank you.
stops you and you makes you want to pick
No,
up her book.
it's
Uh,
interesting. I have it right here. Obviously, I just read it. And by the way, I mentioned in the acknowledgement section, which is so cool. It's so cool to see women supporting women. Because I didn't ask for it, but my point is there's nothing creatively that's like, wow, look at the shadows or like look at that, environment or the backdrop. It's Ashley. It's her. She's pop of color. She is a force to be reckoned with. She's extremely well spoken and educated. And we needed that color, which her PR agency helped her with. We had an idea where we were going and how to position her, but we really needed her to stand out.
but it's playful and it's
It's
bright
playful.
green and it's
Be
so
conservative. She's
different.
a political strategist, but you can still look beautiful and
Yeah.
have fun with it and be eye catching. I went to school here college, over 20 years ago. And like you just said, DC was like, yeah, there was some publications and some creative projects. Now moving back to the area, I've been back for 2 years now. It is booming with exciting people and a fashion scene and people that really are doing incredible work and women, especially women supporting women. Whew, I did not see that and experience it when I was in my early 20s, getting out of college. Now, as a professional moving back, I'm like, there's something powerful happening. It's pretty cool.
I
So
love it. I
see
do
and
love it.
talk about the culture and nationalities, ooh, touchy subject. It's such a melting pot and it is fabulous. I love interesting people. I'm really drawn to interesting people, the quirky ones, the ones that are a little out there, the CEO lady, commanding an entire team and then going out at night with her stilettos. I'm like, you go, girl.
I love that. And you too have like a great eye for that because of your own remarkable career. My audience doesn't even know that they have seen your work everywhere.
No,
It's
thank
just
you.
beautiful, and it's not in the political space at all. You've spent a lot of time in fashion and
Passion.
design, and you spent quite a few years in Charleston filming really just about everything, the whole culture. Talk a little bit about that.
We photographed Elle magazine down there in Charleston, out of all places, a cute little beach town. It started with this idea that I had with my stylist, Janice Lozano. She's amazing. She's a wonderful hair and makeup artist and a wardrobe stylist, which is very hard to find because these are like three different categories that are completely different from each other. And I came to her and I said, I have this vision. It's with movement, it's flowy fabrics. I don't know where we can shoot it, but what do you think? And she immediately, she had the resources to tap into LA and get some incredible design, uh, really famous brand names and fly them over to Charleston. And once I saw the wardrobe, that idea just came to life. We picked the Ravenel Bridge out of all places, which you're going to be familiar with,
I sure am. Yep.
Yeah. The lugging equipment and wardrobe went all the way up and did this amazing fashion editorial with a model that she was incredible. We could not have casted a better person because she didn't just pose and move. She like danced in these like 6-inch high heels. Do you know how hard it is to walk in 6-inch heels, let alone perform and do poses? And it just took it to the next level. And Elle magazine immediately scooped it up and published it in print, which was pretty incredible. And it gave me that type of like ego boost. Like, hey, if we can do this in Charleston, we can do anything, and it propelled into working with other publications like L'Officiel and Vanidades have been published nationally, internationally, and now even in DC, the Washingtonian, the Georgetown, or like I am what my kids call old school. I like to see things in print. I want to flip through a magazine. I want to feel the pages. I want to smell the paper. I'm a little weird like that. It means a lot to me, and I think that's not gonna go away. I think it's getting limited, right? Because paper is so expensive nowadays and publications are struggling, but I don't think it's gonna go away. So there's a lot of creative projects here in DC that are happening, and I'm gonna be a huge advocate for shop local. We have amazing, amazing stylists and creatives, and the artist agency, Linda Urkelishin, who started it over 40 years ago, represents talent from models, actors, hair and makeup stylists, wardrobe stylists. We have one of the stylists who worked on one of the the Yellowstone show. She was one of the wardrobe stylists, and she's right here in the DMV. Incredible talent. My friend and partner, who we photograph a lot of projects together. Him and his family moved here from Miami. He photographed in New York people like Richard Branson, LeBron James, and all these amazing fashion editorials, and he's right here now in the DC area. So when ad agencies come and they tell me, oh, we're working with an art director in New York, we're getting the talent from there. I'm like, like in the cartoons when the face gets red and like fume comes out, I'm like, start local. Start local. New York is fabulous. It's wonderful. If you want to pay their, amped up rates, by all means do it. But we have the talent right here. Shop local, start local, and then see what you have going on. And if you don't know, ask me. I'll refer you to people. And then
Yes.
figure out, but don't overestimate the DMV area.
It's
There's so
amazing
much
to
great
me
things here.
because we all think of Washington as a political town. But
100%.
but the truth is that it's a sports town, and it's an arts town, and it's a small business town, and it's a fashion town, and it's getting more and even it's a food town, right? I mean, so many things that Washington gets pegged as, because of who comes in and out of this city every single day. Some of the biggest, most important people in the world.
Names are coming through and people don't even know, right? Because it doesn't
Yeah.
get advertised, nor should it, right? Because they want their privacy too, and they go to the private membership clubs and the restaurants that they're used to going. But there have been some amazing people that I've met lately that come through here, and there's photographers here that want to photograph them. I mean, I am really like, I don't know how I'm going to do this yet, but I really will try and promote local artists as much as I can, including myself. But there's a bigger picture happening, and especially women in the arts. I am going in full steam, and I will fight for this town. This is my home. This is where I went to high school and college, and my family and friends are here. And I'm excited to see where DC keeps going. And yes, there's definitely you're making me think of something funny that happened recently. I was out in Warrenton photographing something with horses, race horses, that steeplechases, and rolling on the ground trying to get the right shot. The next day I photographed a senator. I mean, this is how wild my industry is. It's like never a dull moment. It's exciting. Everything's new and different. And I'm definitely not a 9 to 5 office person. This career suits me. And I am gonna keep diving in.
Perception is so big in this town, though, and so you talk about that quite a bit. How do you think people are showing up? We talk about, being nervous, but
Mhm.
are they trying too hard in Washington? I mean, to me, like you show the image of the photograph you did for Ashley, like you are very playful in the work that you do. Like you try to draw out people's perception.
I
Is,
do.
is
Yeah.
Washington taking itself too seriously these days?
Gosh, that's such a good question. And I'm gonna be a little unfiltered. Yes. Yes. They're worried about what their colleagues and friends are going to think, and they want to be in the right circles. And It's a little bit, who what can they do for me career-wise? There's definitely more of that here than, the beach towns that I've lived at from California to the Carolinas. So there's definitely that going on. And it all comes from, trying to fit in. And once you understand that about your clients, if you're in the people industry, everything kind of starts from I want to be accepted. I want to be loved in my work, in my family life. I want to be accepted. I want to be acknowledged. I want to be seen. So in DC, I'm noticing a little bit about that. And Ashley, in her book, really talks about how you are constantly being watched, even when you're not speaking. People are paying attention. And I kind of read that twice, and now I'm like, huh, she's right. Like people were kind of really one eye to the side paying attention to you. So don't assume that if they're not making direct eye contact, you're not being noticed. So when they come and we do their pictures, there's this like, oh, they have to be great. They have to be perfect. I'm like, well, they will be, but how about we start with you just breathing normally? Let's start there and have a glass of water and let's talk and we'll start taking pictures. And I'm a huge supporter of bring your own hair and makeup artist. And if you don't have one, I'll refer you, because it's not just about their knowledge of how they're applying makeup and knowing the right foundations to use, not having the foundation too shiny, because when you go on set and you're doing an interview with really bright lights, that's going to give you too much shine. So it's not just the technical part, it's also how they make you feel. When the hair and makeup artist is coming to you and they're working on you and making you feel beautiful and saying inspiring things, you start coming to life. It's about how you make people feel. And even right now, you're gonna laugh. We've talked about this before, but I'm wearing my stilettos. I know you can't see my high heels, but it's how they make me feel. And when I wear them, I feel like Superwoman. I feel like that's my cape and I can do anything except take pictures in them because I will kill myself quite. It's when people make you feel good, it shows up in your face. So when they start getting really picky about wardrobe and stylists, I'm like, there's professionals in this area that I can recommend. And I highly suggest that you go that route so that you can get that amazing, portrait or headshot or whatever we're doing, so that it will stand out.
I
It's a
love that. I
effort.
think that that's I
Weird
think that
to make that portrait come to life.
I think that that's the advice that I give always, Mira, and I'm sure I've told you that as we've chatted, but wearing something that makes you feel fantastic
Mhm.
shows not
Absolutely.
just in the clothes.
It
sh
completely shows on your face, yeah.
Mhm. So
And
it's less about what
and all of that, you come prepared, you know that.
Mhm.
But the people that don't need a little bit of extra work, and I'm at the point where I'm like, "Gosh, do I need to start charging for the consultation session?" Because it is providing a lot of value, it's taking time away from me, and right now, I care about my clients, I wanna see them do well, and I thrive on the business of referrals. I rarely do this, like, press and interviews, rarely. I just don't like being in front of the camera. It makes too, and I've been doing this for a while. I like being behind the scenes, and it's funny, you'll see behind the scenes photos, hair messy, mascara running down. I'm like, yeah, I mean that's what a photographer should look like. You shouldn't look perfectly polished with heels holding a camera. It's just not realistic. It's too physical. You're there for the other person. It's not about you. And I've gotten very comfortable being behind the scenes and directing people.
Mhm.
It's becoming a nice little
For
comfort zone.
sure. I have, one last question before I have to let you go. Mira, first off, everyone in Washington wants to know how to have a great headshot, how to present a great brand. They
Mhm.
want this advice, and they ask me for it all the time for this kind of counsel. So thank you for joining me. You have worked
Thank you
across
so much.
fashion, editorial, and now personal branding. Where
Mhm.
do you think this is all headed as everyone's managing their own image?
Good question. I know for sure that it is headed towards some kind of a storytelling business, content creation, and I don't know where it's gonna land. I don't know if I'm gonna be a photographer for the next 30 years or if this is gonna turn into a producer, art director, or who knows? I think storytelling is the tool of mass attraction. It is not going to go out of style. I'm deeply connected to it. I'm deeply moved by it. I'm trying to evolve, and every business owner and CEO will tell you the same thing. You have to evolve with technology and with time. You have to adapt or you will get left behind. And now it's happening almost so fast that you're like trying to catch up a little bit, right? But it will be some type of storytelling and who knows? I love what I do. I will keep doing it until I can, even though my neck and my back are starting to give me signs, like, hey, you're in your 40s now. Like you can't really do the things you did in your 20s. But I love this town and I love seeing women prosper here. And 80% of my clients are women, which is really interesting. It wasn't a strategy when I started. I had no idea what I was doing when I first got into photography. But women are the ones that keep hiring me, and I think it's the referrals. I think, hey, I had a really pleasant experience. Go work with Mira, and a woman in harmony with her spirit is like a river flowing. She goes where she will without pretense and arrives at her destination prepared to be herself and only herself. That's Maya Angelou. And I will keep inspiring the women artists around me and keep growing myself and let's see where it takes us.
I love it. Mira, I can't wait to follow it. You're building something really remarkable, and I'm so glad to introduce you to my audience.
I do feel like it's headed somewhere and I'm just going to roll with it.
I love it so much. Thank you so much for being a guest today.
May you ask the right questions. You're so wonderful to be around. And I love surrounding myself with people who make me smile. And you're one of them. And if you don't make me smile, then leave, but you're so wonderful at what you do. See how uncomfortable it is to take a compliment?
It is really. We need to get better at it.
I love you.
Thank you, my friend. So that was my friend Mira Adwell. She's a really fantastic photographer. She's photographed some of the biggest names in Washington and outside of Washington. And she's also got a really interesting perspective on something most people don't think about until it's too late. If you're putting yourself out there in media, in speaking, or even just in LinkedIn, your image is doing a lot of work before you ever say a word. Thank you so much for joining us on The Friday Reporter.